I was the Alice Cooper, my one footnote with Cap Center. Did you go to the Cap Center opened with, I think, The Who, the Allman Brothers, Alice Cooper. Those were the first 3 shows. I produced Alice Cooper. The Cap Center was one of the first venues with video. They had these large video screens in the center. For The Who and for the Allman Brothers, they had set up platforms in the far rear of the Cap Center. And they had the cameras up and they were shooting down. So what you got on the screens was you got a small, you got a general, well, your camera, a general shot of the stage. Okay. And primarily that was in there, I think, for sports. That's why it was designed, so they could, put sports up there. But anyway, so we came in, this is the Alice Cooper show. And I looked at the setup. And, Alice, like I've been with Alice since '69. And I was producing the show for Alice. And I looked at the setup. And Alice is very theatrical, and Shep, who managed the band, was very aware of that stuff. So I got with the production team at the venue. And I said, look, is there any reason, how about, would you guys like to move your cameras down into the pit area? He says, can we do that? I says, yeah, please. Because that way, so the pit was out here, they moved the platforms down, they put the cameras in there, right? After that, from that day on, that's where the cameras were.
So Cellar Door got the...
Cellar Door, it was open for the first part of it. And then Jack Boyle and Cellar Door worked out a more or less exclusive, actually it was exclusive. See, with the Civic Center, civic arenas, you couldn't have it exclusive. But Cap Center was a private entity, so they can do what they want. And yeah, and they had a exclusive arrangement with Cellar Door, which worked out very well. Jack did, they did a great job with the bookings and everything else through those years. But we still partnered. We were in there with the company in Baltimore. We had certain tours, and we would partner dates. That was the way, that was the way the old business went. You had territories. Now with AEG and Live Nation and stuff, it's the whole country. It's conglomerate. It's corporate.